This is
Did you like
D
that?
ending.
Did you like the D ending, lads? Did you enjoy D?
This is D ending.
This is dending.
Do you remember
Dinding.
Dunbelievables had was it Dunbelievables?
It
Dunbelievables.
was unbelievable, yes. There's a deep cut from Irish comedy there. Straight to VHS.
Do you remember Bachelors in Trouble? There's one for you.
Bachelors in Trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah. There's a fucking flashback for you.
Not to put a point at this, but you literally are showing your age there.
No, I'm showing my culchiness is what I'm showing.
That too, yeah.
It was shot in Warford and it looked like it was shot in Warford.
Did it have like a
let's
crystal
save
lens?
Dana. 4 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I should ask about that picture.
Oh yeah, she did a thing that I've been doing this whole time. So yes, this is literally the only ending out of the 5 permutations where we actually saved the person we stranded in the 16th century to begin with.
She was chosen to be a model.
She was
for a
perfectly
baby.
happy. So are we
What
saving?
a lucky girl.
Well, you see, this is the weird thing, right? Again, internal consistency in canon is a fine art at the best of times. But this is the one ending where she's actually okay to come back. Whereas all the afore, she's like, I feel content. It was like, well, how? I feel content no longer having the vote. Like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Maybe she didn't like it. Maybe it's more convenient to her this way.
Maybe it is. Maybe some people
She
want
probably
to
preferred a minimalistic lifestyle. You never know.
That's fair, but like, just go live in Greenland then. In that case, kind of way. Like, you don't have to go traveling back 500 years. I suppose if the opportunity's there, you'll take it, I guess. But I don't know. I'm still quite cynical on the idea of like
You're from that.
just suddenly.
You heard
being
it here
comfortable.
first, folks. Jonathan thinks that Greenland is a backward society. So all you
Yes, I
Greenland
was pretty
folks
sure
can
that
cancel
too.
him,
When
please.
I got separated from you.
By all means, subscribe to us if you're from Greenland and prove me wrong. No, in fairness, I know Greenland's a lovely part of the world. And
That's too late to try and fix it now. No.
No, you have to keep again. You're doing this thing where you're putting words on my mouth. I say if you want a quiet life, then Greenland's the way to go. Here, there's a
But
tourist
that
spot for you.
time and place is
Touche,
still your
well
home, right?
played.
It's where you want to be.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
And the same way. No family at all.
Remember this?
There's absolutely no reason for that. Please stop looking at the D ending. I am definitely my own man with my own identity and my own face.
That's
Speaking of getting through endings, I'm playing a game at the moment that there's 14 goddamn endings.
14.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What fucking game are you
Of course, you
playing?
can have it.
Not for broadcast.
If
It's
it weren't
really
for the
good.
stone, I would have never met you.
Really good.
Never would have ended up right here now.
That kind of rings a bell. I think I'm confused now with a different game, actually.
That there was something very important about this.
Should look it up. It's very entertaining. It's very good.
It's not
Um,
FMV, it sure isn't.
It is
something else.
FMV. It's
Is it?
FMV. Yes.
Ah.
It's FMV, but it's like you control stuff in time, but it's fantastically done. Really, really, really good. I was expecting it to be a funny comedy schlocky thing, but it gets surprisingly deep at certain parts. You're just like, fuck. I've only gone through one.
this.
It's fantastic. I can't recommend it highly enough. I've only gone through one ending so far, which was my natural ending. Before I go back and start like actively changing decisions to get other endings. But yeah, it's one of these choice-based games where you don't really know which choices. It's not spoon-fed to you. You don't really know which choices are actually affecting
What?
the grander scheme of things.
You're saying
Some
Game
are
it
obvious,
reminds me
some
of
are
is
not.
Papers. It reminds me of Papers, Please.
Papers, Please, and Papers, Please is even referenced in it.
so?
Little
Is it?
Easter egg.
Oh,
Just
right.
little Easter egg when they're going through the headlines and stuff, because it's done like a real news show on different points. But there's little Easter eggs, where somebody's reading out the headlines and they'll say, a little kind of tagline, and then they'll explain what the tagline is.
Yeah.
One of them is "Papers, please," and then go into it. And
Oh, very good.
so, like, there,
A little
There is
potato man
reference
was
to
shot today. That's some border control.
but like, yeah, no, well worth playing. Well worth
Right,
playing.
I might check it out because I actually like the idea of it. I've said before, FMV is my genuine my gaming guilty pleasure. I've no reason for it to why because it's so archaic. But I love that people are kind of
This
making
no,
comeback.
this one is how it should be done. As in,
Yeah.
the FMV forms
Mm.
the backdrop of the gameplay. The gameplay is separate to the FMV.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
It's how it's done. You're controlling the FMV, but it's fantastic. It's really good. I do advise it.
Then I could have gone back.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
sorry,
I'm gonna be keep playing it
Just so sorry.
for now.
That's
But
how it goes, yeah.
it's but surprisingly,
Ready to
like
spend
honestly,
your
I was
whole
expecting
life
this
with
light-hearted romp.
Yeah,
But
it
I mean,
wasn't that
there's
at all.
surprise.
Please.
Oh, like
Really
there's
think about it for a
surprising
while.
like
It's to
context
make a
of like how
decision.
much control is it okay for a government to
Okay.
have, and
Leave you alone.
you
I'll be
know,
back later.
is
Mm.
Did you
putting
think about
this
it till
person
then?
in power,
I
is
know
that
it's heavy
really the kind of
stuff.
thing? Because you're
All right.
the media, so
Later
what
then.
message should you portraying? If you think the government is overstepping their boundary, should
true.
you be showing their message, or
wait, hold
do you
on.
play along under the threat because they're the
My
government?
boss?
So it's a
You know
BBC
So
the
it's-
simulator,
cafe I used
essentially.
to work at?
Yeah,
If you see him, say hello and tell
it's.
him
I mean,
Uh,
like it
he's
is.
disappeared
There's
on
very
that
like
Have
it's set
match of the
in.
day
I think
and that you
cancelled.
should deduct the shift from my
it's set in the 80s,
I
I think.
don't think
Like
that's
80s,
necessary.
but it goes like it
You
goes
don't?
right up until the 90s and all that stuff. But
But
it's very.
you were supposed to open a
But there's some
cafe
really
instead.
funny parts in it
I wonder
too,
if
like
everything turned out
genuinely funny
okay.
parts.
I can't believe
That's
I
good.
was so worried about this at
Um,
this point.
Like they're talking about what was it?
Don't worry about that.
Oh, they're
It's
they're
only
like
been about
at
half a
a
day since
haunted
I met
house
you,
or
you
something
know.
at one point. It's like done like one of those
Huh?
Derek Akura
What does that
fucking
mean?
haunted shows,
Well, actually,
and
Mary
they're there
loves
and goes,
Dick.
yeah,
forget
and
it.
it's just like
I'll just give him the message.
and this woman was in charge
Really? So that's
of
okay then?
Yeah.
lowering this man down in his harness, but she couldn't
One
handle
thing
the
I'm
way
gonna
it
have
dropped
to
him and he
stress
fell
about
to his
anyway.
death. Yes,
Well,
she
take care
really
of
dropped the
yourself.
ball,
I'll see
or
you
in this
later.
case, a man.
Thanks.
And it's just like stupid little lines like that you just go like, Jesus.
That's good. Yeah, I think you sold me on this. I'm going to try this out.
But then, like, surprisingly dark ones were suddenly like, because it's also integrated with your personal life is done in little just reading bits, and like suddenly, like, based on your decisions, then like I know based on my decisions, my fucking daughter died,
Jesus.
and then you're left wondering, was it because of some decisions I made previous that has now put the government in power that led to her like it's it's
Yeah. It's
very
like
good.
it's like that same thing again in Papers, Please. It was like, who shall eat today? My mother-in-law or my son? Oh, my mother-in-law
Yeah.
died. Oh dear. I really should have checked that man's paperwork quicker.
Yeah. No, really good. Play it. It's well worth it. Surprisingly longer than most of the games. Still a short game, but longer than you would expect it to be.
I'll be honest, like I'm far beyond the point now of have gone on fucking epic odysseys for games. Like a quick and easier are ones that I like. That's why like one of my favorite games recently has been Stray.
Because it's an FMV, I honestly thought it to be maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe, but it actually turned out to be like between 8 and 10.
Yeah,
Like
that was the same. That was the same length as Ripper, and I find Ripper to be a very long FMV game. And it's like
for an FMV, it felt quite long. It did.
Yeah.
But that said, there was no weak points. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
We very much enjoyed Ripper, especially seeing like Christopher Walken just chomp on a plain cigar.
In his natural habitat, taking any gig he can get.
So, because like we've had a short gap since our last episode.
Mm-hmm.
That was your nickname in secondary school, wasn't it?
Short gap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That's because you get squeezed into every crevice.
But
I was thinking of the. Wait, no, that was short round.
Yeah, short round. You're thinking of, yeah.
But in the time that's passed,
It's been a while since I saw that movie.
Someone's day of birth has passed, and would they care to
What's this?
divulge the surprises they got?
Yeah, Dennis.
Happy birthday, Jonathan.
No. It's already been established on this channel my birthday's Halloween, so no. You're wrong.
You're just Satan.
Yes! How could you not tell? How do you think I keep this teeth so white?
Blood of the
The high
innocent.
blood pressure. It's contrast on the camera. That's what it is. Pretty obvious. So, by the way, just to fill you in what's going on here. So, we've convinced Dana to go back to the present with us. But the issue is that because she spent 4 years in the past, again, she literally asked the question, why couldn't you have done this the day beforehand? And he just goes, I'm sorry. But But basically, she said, "Okay, I will go back to the present if you convince me that I'm loved in the present." Because again, she's saying she has no family and whatever it is.
Yeah,
So-
that was her whole reason, my whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So what we've done is we've gone to the cafe and noticed that there's been a note left behind by the cafe owner, who is thanking her for all of her hard work as of late and is hoping she comes back to the cafe.
Go back to the present. Your boss likes you.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, but again, again, this ending is like a 180 of stupid. Like, it's stupid the fact that I couldn't do this like a day after this happened and had to wait 4 years. I know there's reasons for that, and we'll get into it. And then Dana is even equally stupid for wanting to stay. And then it's stupid again that like he's able to be easily convinced to come back, and then it's like back to being stupid, like 100%, 12 o'clock stupid because the boss of the cafe likes her so much. Please come back from the 16th century. If you don't mind.
We're understaffed. Could you come back, please?
I'm sure you can put your butter churning techniques to good use. I don't fucking know.
Can you work the shift tomorrow?
Yeah.
We're short staffed.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey Dana. I know you're currently under siege from the Prussians. Well, but Kate's cancelled. Would you be able to come back yesterday? Thanks, bye. No.
But like, it's yeah. I think we had this before. So we've had now our car ending.
Yeah.
Which is the most infuriating ending of any game ever.
It's not even an ending. It's just like everything else was too good, so we had to kill the guy off at the end just to balance things out. It was fucking stupid.
Here you are.
The stupid ending.
There's so much better ways you could have done it around. You're just drunk idiots drive over him
Actually,
Yeah.
because
exactly.
he decided to lie down in the middle of the fucking road.
there was a
Yeah.
note there for you.
You deserve
but-
that then.
He
But
like
it's
what
town
other ones?
square. Like,
So what ones have we had? Did we
so
have?
ending A was
We
where-
haven't had the
course.
big one yet, have we?
It's still
The
the
big
same
un?
time back there.
The big one?
Sort of.
define the
The
big
big
one.
one
It's
with.
been a couple of
with-
hours.
See, I don't. If we haven't had it, I don't want to give it away to Foxy.
Give me a keyword,
Um,
because I think this is all new to you from this point on. So
When I was in that
Alchemist?
time, I thought,
yeah, that was actually the one we just saw, the ending, the last
Yeah.
part of the playlist.
Was it?
The Alchemist was the
Yeah,
last
yeah,
episode
yeah.
that we. The
How
last.
did I? Oh
yeah.
wait, no. Maybe it's just been a while. I just can't remember Foxy's.
We've-
reaction.
We've
It
seen
was
a few
literally like 2 weeks ago.
with Hugo. Hugo
Yeah.
was in a
I
couple,
think maybe
Yeah.
there's a
Hugo.
place for me there.
like different versions. Either you save him or you kill him, or otherwise.
Yeah, there was
Of course
old
there's a
Hugo.
place for you.
Yeah.
Mm.
That was part of the C ending, yeah. Yeah, the 2 B endings, depending on which one of the two, either he gets crushed by a building or he gets like manhandled by an old fucking librarian. And then the A ending is where we bring Margaret to the present and
Are you really
Yes.
okay with that?
Humbless dies because Ike is a bumbling idiot.
Yes, but I want to go as quickly as possible. Otherwise, I'll
Yeah, he just dropped the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, literally. And he just goes, "It was destiny." No, you're clumsy. That's not destiny. Butterfingers. Like,
I'm trying. Yeah, I don't think I've seen these two. Have I?
I don't. I think you mentioned to me that you've seen C and D. So A, B, and so this one is all completely new. Then I think to your
Yeah,
recollection.
I'm fairly
Then once you have
certain.
all 5. Yeah,
I'm fairly certain that's correct. And then there's the special ending as well, isn't it? Or is that?
yeah.
am
The
I
special
thinking
endings
of-
are coming up after this. So once we've unlocked all 5,
Yeah.
we get.
So they're the
the
two.
main boss.
Explain that again to me. Were they the ones that like? Is this so? I know. I think. Oh, I could be completely wrong here, but I think it's possible it might be Silent Hill, where
Yeah.
the one of the S endings is considered the true ending in canon,
Mm.
but you wouldn't have gotten it unless you basically fucking got all the other endings. Is that the same situation here, or was this just left open? I can't remember.
Well, I suppose when we start doing the EX endings, we'll have this conversation.
Yeah.
But I
I
think there's
see.
two
It
there's
already
two ways to
feels
look at it,
so
right?
familiar.
One way is that each ending is independent of itself, and they're all their own timeline, essentially. Their own
Yeah,
on-
yeah,
off
yeah, yeah.
continuity, and they never intertwine.
Look at what I'm
There's
looking
one way of
at.
looking at it.
It's like a
Now,
one-person Halloween
Those 5
party.
endings, like, they're all different
I
timelines.
guess
We
I
can all
aged
accept
4
that.
years in
The
an
EX
accident,
endings
right?
only work on the presumption that Ike has prior knowledge of the previous 5. So if you like,
You think?
the EX endings
Wait, you have
are
to know
vengeance.
all of them.
All 5 of
It's
them, yeah.
not. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because basically he's used the prior experiences of all possible permutations and conclusions to basically undercut what happens on the day.
Right.
I can't help
Yeah.
feeling.
And was that a case when you were getting the EX endings? Was that a case of
Yeah,
anything extra special
sorry
had to
I can't walk you
happen
home.
besides having completed the 5?
I have to remember how to get there as I go
Basically,
anyway.
Like, did you have to go
Say
back
that
and
I
do,
have a
you
lot
know,
of
wait,
catching
you
up
trigger
to
certain
do.
decisions with certain conversations and all that stuff? Did you have to do
I'll be
certain
in
things
touch.
for it, or?
Take care of yourself.
Literally, the
okay?
first dialogue choice you have is a
Yeah,
new dialogue
you
option,
too.
and then
You can
that
find
starts
me
you on
at
the
that
EX ending
point.
path.
I'll see you later then.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because the dialogue option is literally just like is you showing you've got prior knowledge and you know what and you've got this, and then that kind of
Right.
throws everyone off a little bit off kilter. But yeah, and then because you have two EX endings, basically you choose
It's just
what
a
you do.
branch from there.
Yeah, it's a branch from
Yeah.
which way you want this to end. And
Okay.
again, personally, I think there is a natural conclusion to the story. But in a
Well,
weird
surely
way,
how you described it, I would consider one of the EX endings then
it should be.
as the
But again,
true ending, because
it's the
then
weird
you'd
way you
have to
look at
know.
it. Yeah, yeah. It's the kind of chicken and egg principle. Whether you consider that Ike should have prior knowledge of what he's done, you know, because it's again the time travel rules of this game are so fluid and kind of like inherently inconsistent. Where like one ending it's that rule, and then the other ending goes fuck that, let's follow another rule. So you could
This
argue
is true, but
different continuities.
if I take it on surface though and just say time travel and don't look into,
Yeah.
like, if
Then
I
you
just go with a
say
base
EX
level
endings
of
for
time
sure, yeah.
travel, then
Hmm.
I would just say, okay, well, the EX ones make sense then, because
Yeah.
of how the entire game has been, where he's died and had to make a new fucking decision.
Pretty much, yeah, and that's kind of where I kind of rest on this one. I have what I think is the preferred ending of the standard ones, and then the one I think is the best of the two
Okay,
EXs.
so if you had to pick, in your opinion, right, with your knowledge of all the endings, including EX endings, right?
Yeah.
Not your favorite ending, but what is the one that you would put forward as, say, to me, this is the one that I would consider the true ending, the true canon ending. Doesn't necessarily have to be your favorite one.
As daft as it sounds, the ending with the car is realistic to what you should do to solve the puzzle, to solve the conundrum. If you know that there is a 10-year-old with a time machine and he's given to him by his future self, intercept that future self and stop it from happening. Right?
Yeah.
And therefore that completely diffuses the hostage situation in the present, because that past person never experiences it. So that is what should happen. But again, this is why I think the car is thrown in at the end, because then that ending is too good. It resolves everything too quickly. You know the kind of way.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I think the correct answer to all of this, all the 5 standard endings, is ending D. I think that's the correct one, because it justifies all the other endings. Because
of my
every time
minimal knowledge, I agree.
Yeah. Because it's the only other ending that ties all the other 5 together.
Yes.
There is a consistency amongst them all. Because obviously, whenever Ike mentions himself, which is very rarely, he's talking about like, oh, I have no family. I just and he just wanders around the place. So the two biggest potholes, if you like, of the game are actually answered in
who the fuck is Ike?
Who the fuck is Ike,
basically.
and why does he keep just wandering around town waiting for to be stabbed every hour when he could just leave? The trouble is he can't leave because he's essentially an amnesiac. He just loses his memory fucking Heavy Rain style every few hours. You know, the kind of way. Which at least that is the answer is it's a very weak answer, but it's an answer to why those two things happen. And
why he's such an idiot.
Yeah, but he's such an idiot because literally he's just a goldfish essentially, and it's a recurring thing. You know, we played a game on the Madness channel called Yesterday, quite like a couple of years ago, and it's been a bugbear of us ever since because the game designers had us with the first game. I had us really intrigued with how it did things. It was short and sweet, didn't outstay its welcome. Then they put out a sequel. We played that, and the plot literally shit itself. By basically having what I describe as a double immortal character, right?
Double immortal?
Double immortal, as in he has a curse of immortality on him already, right? And then he thinks he has it cured, only to realize he's actually been cursed twice with the same curse. So when he died the first time, he literally just got reborn as a baby and has to live his life again. Yeah.
But the point of immortality is you can't die.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you see how so when I say the plot shit itself, I'm really not fucking joking there. Like you don't have us here in the palm of your hand, right? Where literally you have an immortal character, and let's just say the gameplay is you're in an impossible situation. What do? Kill yourself, right? Because then you can get out of the situation. But no, they actually didn't do any of that and just did an origin story for the character. And then at the end, you realize that actually wasn't the origin story at all. He was cursed beforehand. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
How badly do you have to fuck up to get cursed twice?
Exactly. You know. But that's just it though. So we've went down this road before where the game kind of like doesn't really it cops out of itself, and I think in certain endings of this game it cops out. Whereas ending D, I think, is actually the most consistent of the lot. You know, because you could make the argument that you know, like you could say in every ending up to this point, you know that now Ike is Dr. Wagner. So look the whole game through that lens and you go, oh, this all makes sense. That's why he's tied to this.
That's why I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now the other part of this the other part of this equation is the homunculus side, right? And conveniently enough, those are the two X factors that tie into the EX endings, right? So the Wagners is one part, and homunculus, right? So I mentioned the Wagner side. That's why Ike is tied to them and so forth. There's a family connection there somewhere. That's why you get asked if you're the ancestors or not. Then you have the homunculus side where he's basically leading you along a garden path. So remember when I was saying that one of the dumbest things about this ending is that Dana literally just asks the plot hole, why didn't you do this at the time? And Ike doesn't have an answer for her, right? Because even I'm slagging him off going, it took you 4 years to rescue a woman when you have time travel. You can pick, but the reality is he doesn't get to pick. You know, he gets certain moments in time by homunculus, like he gets told, oh, you can come back to this year, and he picks that, you know, but he's not allowed to go back.
I think that's kind of told
exact seconds.
That's told to us as well by the mechanic.
Yes.
If we don't look at it as just a mechanic and a convenient way of saying, oh, you don't have to input it, but you could look at it as, no, it's specifically designed that it only works
it's in squares. You only get
at
to
certain times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he can't go where he chooses. He can only go to certain times.
So now that Margaret is not Margaret hasn't come to the present here as Hugo's hostage. So this hostage situation still happens because we basically not involve Margaret in the equation whatsoever, but we still done the bit with the alchemists, right? So Dana's now in the present, but there's one key thing. Hugo saw us bring Dana to the present and knows who Dana is. So that's the one big change to this cutscene. That's why we have to play out for the next 10 minutes.
Okay.
You know.
How did you get here, and why?
As you do.
Were you the one
As you do,
threatening
yeah.
Mr. Eckert?
Fuck's sake.
What are you
Yeah,
fuck's
it's a
sake
game.
about?
Literally
It's-
copy and paste. It just a person got switched out. That's all.
Yeah, essentially.
Listen, Foxy, right? I've about had enough of your fucking bitching.
It's pretty simple, really.
Have you now?
Remember that tool you
Get used to it.
Poor little Foxy.
What?
What?
That's your impression of Foxy, is it? Because it's it needs work.